almost 2 weeks, and I'm now at Gobekli Tepe. For anyone that doesn't know what Gobekli Tepe is an archaeological site that was more or less discovered, or the excavations began in '93. So it's been a little bit since they found out about this place, but you know, it's still sort of a mystery. It's a mystery because it dates back to the end of the last ice age, about 11,500 years ago. And this is before pottery, this is before written language, before the wheel, before agriculture, and before we even had settlements or civilizations. And well, we now know that our previous assumptions of what humans were doing at this period in time was wrong. We were completely wrong, and this place proves it. And there's about 40 sites that are just like this, just like Gobekli. Gobekli is just sort of the first that was found. But this is like a little museum here, just outside of the site. I'll show you. This is a replica of the pillar, and we can kind of get a good idea of some of the things that were carved on it. So some people believe that this is a depiction of an asteroid impact, and that they were trying to tell that that something cataclysmic happened through the designs on the pillars. It's hard to say for sure what they're telling. Here are these, some people say these are like the mystery bags that you find all around the world. And yeah, you know, it's hard to say. They've only excavated about 5% of this place, so it's a little too early, in my opinion, to make any kind of assumptions of you know, what these people were saying or what this stuff means. We have to get the full picture, I think, before we can build any kind of narrative of who these people were or what they were trying to tell us. And again, this is just a replica. Scorpions, snakes. It says listen. Let's see what this is. It's just some dogs barking, some kids playing. I'm not sure what it's trying to say. But they consider this place to be the first temple in the whole world. I don't believe that personally. I think that these people were probably come from an older, you know, group of people. As we can see here, we're not going to be able to get too close to the actual excavation site, but as you can see here, like, the real pillar has these three-dimensional carvings. So you would think like the first people that were just sort of discovering how to carve things would be carving into the rock and sort of indent it instead of making the object pop out. This is a really advanced carving technique. And this is why I think that these people were probably coming from a lineage that is even older than them. But of course, 11,000 years ago, we don't find anything. You know, there's no evidence, because it's either been reclaimed by the elements of nature or destroyed by other cultures. But the thing that about Gobekli and some of these other sites like Karahan Tepe is that they were intentionally buried. So these people that built this buried it, and that sort of time capsuled the site in the way that it was when they built it. So we're blessed in a way that these people buried it. And you can see how big it is here. About 325 centimeters. Let's see where I'm at. I'm about 175 centimeters. And okay, let's just check out some of these things they got around here. This was found. These are actually found all over the place here. These human-like heads. And the oldest complete human statue was actually found here in Şanlıurfa during a construction, and they called him the Urfa Man. And it's the oldest life-size human statue on Earth. I think this is the farmer who lived here before they knew what it was. Originally, they thought this place was like a Byzantine or Roman cemetery. They didn't know that it was 11,000, 12,000 years old. So it's pretty incredible once they discovered, like, oh shit. And actually they found what they call these right here, they call these T pillars, T-shaped pillars, because they're shaped like T's. And they found one a long time ago, and they were like, what the fuck, how does this thing exist? And it was kind of like an isolated case. They didn't have any other evidence of the pillars. They only found one. So they were like, what the heck? How is this possible? It's kind of like an archaeological anomaly. But then, through time, they started finding these sites all over the place. And this is actually a giant civilization, a lost civilization that we have no idea about. Like I said, there's 40 of these sites, and they're now starting to excavate 11 more of them, which they're calling Tas Tepeler. And so Tas Tepeler will be 12 sites, Gobekli Tepe included. And yeah, they will sort of begin to unlock the picture of this place. It'll be years probably before it's open. Karahan Tepe now is being excavated, and to me it's more impressive than Gobekli. People still don't know about Karahan, but for me, I've been to Karahan maybe 4 or 5 times. I'm friends with Ismail. He was a sheep herder and farmer before. Well, his family was. He's probably my age, and he was playing on these hills when he was a kid and had no idea that underneath was like a crazy archaeological site full of incredible carvings and structures. And I visited him maybe 2 years ago before they began the excavations. And we were just walking all around this hill, having no idea the stuff that we were walking on. And I was just there again yesterday and you know, a few more times throughout the past few weeks. And to see what we were stepping on and without having any idea, just it blows my mind. I'll show you some of the other stuff they have here in this little museum. Pre-pottery, they say. So I guess this is not considered pottery because it's not made with clay. And another thing that was interesting about Gobekli was that, oh, check this out right here. It's a fox head, I think, or a leopard head. What's it say? It's a leopard head. And Karahan Tepe seems to be a leopard temple. It has a theme full of leopards. And so the thing that was interesting about Gobekli was that it was a temple. We can see that this was probably a place of worship. We didn't find any signs of people living here. We didn't find any signs of tools or garbage or anything like this. So we assumed, and there would seem to be like ritualistic things going on here. I think they found some maybe animal bones and, you know, different things to suggest that these people were worshiping in this area. And of course, I mean, 5%, again, I don't know why they make these big narratives like, oh, it's only a temple when they've only excavated 5%. But Karahan Tepe is, without a doubt, homes. These people were completely and absolutely, utterly settled in Karahan Tepe. And it's incredible. Check this out.
Well, we just did the, I guess. Sorry.
Here's some stones, some spears. I actually have a couple of these from Karahan. This is in Şanlıurfa. It's in the region of Şanlıurfa, maybe just, you know, an hour outside of the city center. Not even. Check this out though. This is really cool in here. And I'll take you guys to the site as soon as we're finished walking around in here. This is cool. We'll watch this for just a minute so you guys can check out all the different scenes. It kind of gives us a little virtual picture of potentially what was happening here. This is the prelude before it gets going, so we just wait a second for it to get ready. And it's going to go into a little story for us. Watch this, this is cool. Sorry, let's let the anticipation build for a sec. Check this out. They would have survived the asteroid impact by probably living in the caves. There are cave systems all around here in Turkey. Incredible cave systems, actually, that date back thousands and thousands of years. This is our ancestors right here. Yeah, they're real photos. they found some bodies, I believe, in maybe Ayanlar, Hayuk, or some other sites where the people were buried with objects, which to me sort of means that these people probably believed in an afterlife. And this is them reburying it afterwards. Pretty cool, right? And here's some information, more or less probably what I've been talking about. They just discovered, oh, check this out. This is what I mean when I say their carving techniques were very advanced. As you can see, they pop out of the stone rather than being carved into the stone. So they carved the stone around the objects to make them three-dimensional. These are the T-shaped pillars, which are found in hours in every direction here. There's thousands of these pillars. This is a giant civilization. It's not isolated just to the Gobekli. And it's probably also down in Syria, but because that there's kind of a war and conflict going on in that area, we have no information about it. But I would bet a lot of money that in Syria, we also find relics of this civilization here. And in Karahan, just 1 month ago, not many people have gotten to see it yet, but there is a new pillar that has 8 fingers. A lot of these pillars are sort of like anthropomorphic, to look like half animal, half human. And one of the ones that they just found in Karahan has 8 fingers. It's very strange. You don't see that in many of these T pillars. And they also found some of the bodies with nose, little mustache, with septum piercings, like going through under the nose. And my friend Ishmael, who lives in Karahan Tepe, whose family takes care of it, he said that there may be potential connections with Aboriginals in Australia, and that these people could have been, would have been like black Aborigines. And even today, you can see some of the symbols that are carved here on these T-shaped pillars being used in the Aboriginal cultures. And the serpent worship is obviously found everywhere, but Aborigines and these people here were worshiping the serpents. And you can see it carved not only in Karahan, but all over Gobekli. So it would be very interesting if somehow these people managed to, I don't know, walk to Australia somehow. Here's some tools. Okay, so basically that's the little museum they have here. Let's check out this tool here before we go. This looks like it's made out of an antler. I'm not sure if it's real. If that's real, that's pretty cool. It's really nice. It looks like it's made out of an antler with different stones sharpened and carved into it, so you would use this to cut things. Okay, so now we will walk or take a little bus to the actual excavation site. Here we get to see it. Okay, teşekkürler. Okay, so I'm gonna have to walk for a minute, so bear with me as I just ramble. So, Tas Tepeler, as we mentioned, will be 12 sites trying to help us understand a bigger picture of what this culture was and some of their beliefs. Some of the most interesting ones. Karahan to me is the most interesting. I'll have a few videos uploaded from there pretty soon. Gobekli is very interesting. What's it called? It's called Sayburç. Sayburç is very interesting. It's a little bit smaller, but there's an interesting carving of a man standing between two lions, and he's holding his willy in between these these two lions. Pretty interesting. And you see this a lot in some of these carvings in the pillars. These people seem to be like grabbing towards their Johnsons, their little Gobekli dicks. But what else can I tell you guys that's interesting? I mean, yeah, overall these sites are very mysterious. 11,500 years, 6,000 years older than the pyramids. And this could have been the culture that led to the Egyptians, you know? And I would imagine all around these hills is more stuff just waiting to be discovered. I mean, you walk around Karahan, or you walk around like Sagmatar, or any of these sites around here, you just kind of kick your feet around, and you find all kinds of Roman pottery. You find all kinds of stuff. You find coins from the Roman era. And I believe this is the area of Edessa. So the Greeks also recognized the importance of this area. Many cultures recognize the importance of this area. Okay, I just gotta show this guy my ticket. It cost 65 lira to come in here. I think it's like $3 ticket. And I think in June, I'll do a retreat bringing people to these sites. I have a friend that's a professor at the university here. He works with the Ministry of Tourism. And we'll put together a little thing. And we will bring some people here, a small group. What other sites are interesting? There's Sefer Tepe, which is unexcavated, but also filled with the T-pillars. There is Hamzan Tepe, which has been, well, it's still there a little bit, but the Şanlıurfa garbage dump is there. So, yeah, it's a little spoiled by a big pile of trash. And we just now have to wait for one of these vans to drive us over here. This was discovered by a German archaeologist named Klaus Schmidt. And the Germans still today are working on it. Maybe I can just walk over here because I can see it. I think I'll just try to walk. We don't need to. I don't know if they'll yell at me for walking. 700 meters, how far is that? Oh, that might take me like 10 minutes. 700 meters? No, we can do it, fuck it. What other sites is there? There's a little cat right here. Okay, let me show you some of this area here. Okay, yeah, it's kind of far. It was ambitious to walk, but we're already going. So, this little structure here with the roof is Gobekli Tepe, and actually, all throughout here is Gobekli Tepe. There's stuff all around here that has just not been excavated yet. Oh, there's some people walking. We can walk here, I guess. And yeah, you know, thousands of years ago, this place would have been abundant. It would have been filled with water. If you take a look at Google Earth, at the aerial image of Google Earth, you can see the snaky-like veins from where the water used to be. And it's interesting, you actually find coral and you find seashells all around these areas. And this is also Şanlıurfa is in the Bible. This is where Abraham is from. So this place has significance also to in the Bible. And in Sagmatar, about an hour from here, is where some people believe Moses fled the pharaohs and escaped to. And there is a well that's still there, which archaeologists and people believe was built by Moses. Originally, it was a pagan center for the Sabians, I believe, the Sabians of Haran, worshipping Sin. Not sin in the biblical sense, but that's the name of the god. Yeah, it's, sort of been taken over and colonized since then by many cultures. So you see evidence of like Romans and a few other. Another interesting thing is that, I don't know about here in Gobekli, but Karahan Tepe has all kinds of bones. They found bones of animals that don't even exist in this area anymore. Giraffe bones, lion bones, leopard bones, mostly leopard bones. Again, this goes back to the idea that Karahan was some kind of leopard temple, as there's a theme there with that. They even found a pillar, as a T-shaped pillar kind of, or, stylized, with a man's head coming off of like where the neck would be, if you consider the T to be the head, and he's carrying a leopard on his back. So it's very interesting. And something that's different and more interesting, in my opinion, about Karahan over Gobekli is Gobekli was built. So they carved the stones and built them onto the hill of Gobekli. Karahan was actually carved into the mountain itself. They carved into the limestone. And like, you can look at just some of these rocks here, and based on my experience at Karahan and stuff, most things seem to have some kind of human signs of humans using, like, you can kind of see like this could have potentially been a T pillar here. And I mean, maybe not, but when you're at Karahan, it's undeniable that these T's are just everywhere sticking out of the ground. So I imagine Gobekli would be the same. What else is interesting about Karahan? The people at Karahan lived there for at least 1,500 years before they left. Maybe they left because of water or something drying up. You also find these interesting circles here, like this, all around these sites. I'm not sure if they're normal, as in natural, or if they were carved by the people. I'll look around and see if I can find anything interesting. Any more of these circles on the ground as we make our way up. Yeah, we're still only like halfway there. Sorry guys, I should have just took the fucking van that just flew past me. But this place wouldn't have looked like this. Like, what we see now is not what the people of Gobekli were seeing. Like I said, there was giraffes here. Giraffes, lions, leopards, crocodiles, all kinds of animals. Deer, foxes. Again, the fox is another interesting character that shows up on these pillars. Yeah, enjoy the scenery. That's a good way to look at it. Just check out the scenery here. And again, only 5%, maybe not even 5% of this place has been uncovered. So we have no idea. You know, the archaeologists, they say all kinds of stuff. They say all kinds of stuff with confidence. Oh, these people did this, these people did that. You've excavated 5%. You should not be making any kind of narratives of what these people were doing. Gobekli Tepe in Turkish translate to pot-bellied hill. Some other sites, Kortik Tepe, Ayanlar Hayok, Nevale Chorai, which I believe is now underwater. Many of these sites are, you know, pretty neglected, but there is a big effort now to excavate and to give the world some of true history. So much of the history we know is absolute bullshit. I don't know if they're lying to us, but they definitely don't know what they're talking about. And you find this in Egypt also. They don't know what they're talking about. You know, all of our concepts of Egypt come from the last couple centuries. And that means everything has already been looted, destroyed. The Christians, when they came to Egypt, destroyed everything, broke all the faces, scratched everything out. So we don't really know any of this history. We're just kind of guessworking. Okay, we're almost there. But it will be interesting over the next decade to see what all these sites turn into. This site, Gobekli Tepe, and more specifically Karahan Tepe, are going to rewrite history. These sites aren't supposed to exist. 6,000 years before the pyramids, we didn't know humans were capable of moving giant X amount of tons stones in geometrical patterns. Most of these are found in circles. Okay, we're almost there. Some people believe they have astronomical alignments, possibly a calendar. Little gift shop right there. Okay, we made it. Okay. Jesus, I'm sweating. It's been so cold here these past few days. Oh, here's some more of these circles right here. We don't know what they're for, but they're found at almost all of these sites. Karahan Tepe has the same. Sefer Tepe has the same. Potential tombs. The archaeologists take a lot of these things out of here. So there could have been something found in here that we just don't know because it's not here anymore. As you can see, this whole place right here was something at one point. And this is all carved out of limestone, which is pretty relatively easy stone to carve. Soft stone, but still doesn't explain how they were doing it. Because, you know, you have to think to build giant megalithic structures for hours in every direction here, for miles and miles and miles and kilometers and kilometers and kilometers in every direction. You find evidence of this civilization here at the end of the last ice age. Okay. So Gobekli, for example, like I said earlier, Karahan Tepe was carved into the bedrock itself, whereas Gobekli was carved somewhere else and dragged. So, you know, these people, even still today, the mainstream idea is that these people were hunter-gatherers, meaning they were just sort of nomadic, unsettled people. And the Hittites actually have very similar symbolism of the bird holding the circle. So I think we could gain some knowledge by learning what the Hittites were trying to say, because they're a little bit closer in time and there's more evidence for them. If we learned what they were trying to depict in their stories, I believe the knowledge was passed down to them. So we could get a really good understanding, and I'm sure someone somewhere is doing that. Okay. And you can see, despite being the most important archaeological site in the world, there ain't really anyone here. Oh yeah, so they were hunter-gatherers. That's what the idea was. That these people were not. They didn't live in settlements. They just sort of moved with their herds of animals. But I mean, it's not true at all, actually, because we now know that they were settled. And even if they were hunter-gatherers and they weren't settled, then that doesn't explain how they had the time to build megalithic structures all around this area. Because if you're hunting and gathering, well, you have to like hunt and gather. Thank you for the donation, Captain Wavy. Good to see you in here. I know it's been a while since I uploaded a video. I've just been traveling around, so I haven't had the opportunity. Okay, but we made it. Check it out. Yeah, I got some water with me. It's actually not that hot. It's about 7 degrees. But I got two pairs of, I got a little like pair of pants on under my pants to keep my legs warm. Oh, my money's falling. Thanks. My money was falling out of my pocket. Okay, so check this out, you guys. One of the most important archaeological discoveries ever made. And these pillars here are actually bigger than the ones you find at Karahan, at least what we've discovered so far. And this is about all they've excavated. And let me show you some of the interesting things. Here we can see two snakes, or maybe sperm, or maybe, who knows, willies. And they, let's see, where is it at? I mean, this stone carving here is so advanced, there's no way that these were the first people doing it. This came from generations and generations of people learning to do this. So this is considered Building A. And this is probably the later phase of the pre-pottery Neolithic era. And these structures measure between 12 by 13 meters. The floor of the building has not been reached yet. The archaeologists haven't hit the floor yet. So we don't know what's under this. You know, it seems that these people were actually building on top of older structures. And here's an interesting one here. I'm not sure if that hole right there is natural, or not natural, but I mean if they made it, or if it was made by archaeologists. Yeah, you see the boar? And there was something there too that's now been gone. Look how big these ones are. And smooth. And not all of them have carvings on them. I think some of them don't have carvings on them, but a lot of them have these sort of like arms that come down. Maybe you can see there. See, where's it at? This one right here. You see the arms on the side coming down from the shoulder down to its waist. We'll get a better look. We'll get a better look once we're over there. This is probably between 10,000 and 12,000 years old. And again, I just want to point out that these are popping off the stone. They're not carved into the stone. They're three-dimensionally off the stone. And for me, that just seems so silly to assume that these guys were hunter-gatherers when they were clearly showing signs of artistic, you know, like creativity, and they had obviously had giant social structures. You know, you can't just if you're just a hunter-gatherer, how do you get people to build this? So they had some kind of religious beliefs, I would say. They had some kind of culture. They had culture. You know, this is before civilization is said to exist. You know, this is thousands of years earlier than we thought was possible. Has rewritten history for us. And to me, this proves that everything that we've been taught is utterly wrong, and that, you know, sometimes I think we just need to say that we don't know. It seems like teachers and these people, these educators, the people that are in charge of sort of dribbling down the information to us, have no idea what they're talking about. I mean, obviously we have evidence for some things, and we can say like, okay, this is the evidence, but ultimately we don't know. And I think we have issues as a modern civilization coming to terms that we just don't know our origins. We don't know how old things actually are. And another thing, you know, we just found in the Americas, in the United States of America, we found 23,000-year-old human footprints, I believe, in New Mexico. That's before we thought people were even in that area of the world. So things just keep getting older and older and older. Let's take a look at this again. I'll zoom in on this. I think this is the fox I was telling you about. See that they carve foxes a lot. I've not seen a pillar this big at any of the other sites. They were red Indians. Who knows what they were? Thank you so much. Yeah, and I think the mainstream idea of humans is about 300,000 years old, is the oldest human bones we find in Morocco. But who knows, man? Humans are probably a lot older than we think. It's hard to say if they're lying to us or if they just are too overly confident. And I'm gonna try to. I've been working with the Ministry of Tourism here for the past week. I'm gonna try to get special access next time I'm here to get inside the enclosure, which is probably gonna be impossible, but it's worth trying. Okay, so right here, this is building C. This is what they consider building C. And there's different phases of building here. And here we can actually see the arms. And for those of you that weren't in here earlier, I said they just found a new one at Karahan Tepe with 8 fingers, which is pretty rare. You don't see this. And you see this thing right here? It's like an H with the 2 C's next to it. It's like a C facing one way and then like a backward C, sort of sandwiching the H. You find this in Aboriginal cultures, which I mentioned earlier. And I don't know if I believe it, that they're connected, but it's a very specific symbol to be found somewhere else. Again, another one of those holes. Not sure if that was added or if that's original. Seems like a lot of them have it. There's some other excavations on the hill. These are sort of the size of the ones that you find in other areas. They're a little bit smaller, still relatively tall, but not quite as big and thick as these ones here. And another interesting thing you see, so you can see the arm here, in the neck, they usually have these V-necks, like they're wearing like a V-neck t-shirt almost, or some kind of V-like jewelry. And here we can see a snake again. Some bowls. And my intuition tells me that they're gonna find a lot more crazy stuff here if they keep on excavating, which it looks like they are potentially doing some more excavations up there at the top. I don't remember seeing that last time I was here. Okay, so now we are coming to building D, which is this one here, but before we'll check out this other side here. We can see another fox. And you can see more snakes. Oh, here, right here. So this is the famous pillar here. This one right here is the one that causes the most controversy. Lots of people think that this is references to those mysterious bags that all these cultures are holding. I think Sumerians, you find like Olmecs, all sort of with people holding these bags. I personally don't think that's what these are, but some people think that's what this is. There you can see the bird, the vulture, holding a circle. Some people believe this is talking about an asteroid impact. There's some good evidence or some good theories. I don't know about evidence. There's some good theories that that could possibly be what they're trying to tell us. And you can watch Ancient Architects here on YouTube, or CF Apps. My friend Chuck, who just recently passed away, R.I.P. Chuck, and he's got very great videos on this kind of stuff. And I recommend, for more information, you check out those two channels. Matt from Ancient Architects and Chuck from CF Apps. And there's some numbers in there in his channel, but I can't remember what the numbers are. Well, there is evidence that there was a cataclysmic event just before this culture would have built these, so it's possible. It's very interesting, this pillar here. I forget what they call it, pillar 48 or something. We can get a better view once we walk over here. But now we'll check out building D. This is the best preserved of all the buildings, is building D. This one here. Or maybe this is actually building, I think this might be building D here. I can't tell which one's building D. Maybe this one's building D. There's another fox or leopard, maybe. This would have been flattened, most likely. And then you see this interesting structure here in the middle. Yeah, these sites, these people lived here for a long time. So, you know, it's possible that they spent a lot of time building them. But the interesting thing is the timeline. We didn't think people were capable of doing this kind of stuff. You know, we didn't think they had the social capacities to organize such an incredible feat. Again, there's the fox or leopard. To me, it looks like a fox. Yeah, so I think this is building D here, this one we're just looking at, and this one right here I think is building B. You find these little circle things also at Karahan, recently discovered. This one you can see a bull head. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And later, maybe today or not tomorrow, but the next day, I'll go to the museum. I'll do another live stream in the museum, and we can see the things that they took out of this place, which is even more incredible. They sort of just leave the public with this, like, these stones, you know, and take all the good stuff, all the incredible, weird carvings to the museum, or, you know, who knows where the real good stuff goes. Again, there's a bull. No, the stones aren't moved here. These are the original placement. But it's incredible. So this stuff is just, it's held up. Okay, now we'll walk over here and see what else is going on. What's going on? This is called Gobekli Tepe. This is the oldest civilization, a lost civilization, that we are just sort of now discovering. A civilization from the end of the last ice age. The 40 sites found in this area are not supposed to exist based on our knowledge of history. But I mean, it exists, so. Over the next 20 years, we will hopefully see history books change and push back the origins of our timeline. Here's get a shot of this. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I've been spending the last week at Karahan, just kind of hanging out. Yeah, I don't think this is the oldest civilization. I think this is just the oldest evidence we have. Anything older than this probably wouldn't exist. I said this earlier, but this was intentionally buried, which time capsuled it for us. It kept it safe from weather and from other civilizations. And for example, when you're at some of the other sites, if you just start wandering around in the hills, you find all kinds of crazy stuff. Why did I delete K video? I didn't delete any videos. What's the K video? My Karahan Tepe video is still up. I never deleted it. It's from about 2 years ago, before excavations began. It's great to have that footage because I didn't know what I was walking over.
Teşekkür ederim siz. Müsaitim. Buyurun. Uygunluk herhangi bir sıkıntı yok şu an. Evet, bana yazılı gönderirsen çok sevinirim ya. Tamam, harika.
Oh, shit. These are probably new, relatively new excavations, given they don't have the roof over it yet. I'll answer some questions while we make our way around this little bend. So all the stone is local to the area? Yeah, all the stone is local to the area. Yeah, I'm watching out for the willies. Oh, look. So here's an area of excavation that's not open to the public. This is closed off by a fence. There's no way to walk over there. Stonehenge doesn't really impress me much. For one, it's been moved. And for two, it's just like the most unimpressive site, you know, compared to all these other ones. Why did they bury the site? Who knows why they buried the site? That's one of the big mysteries because, fuck, man, it would have took just as much effort to bury it as it would to build it. Some of the theories are that they buried it because they were leaving and it was a sacred place, so they didn't want it to get destroyed. And maybe they had to leave because of lack of resources. Maybe the climate was changing and they buried it so that their future generations could come back and get there. It's hard to say for sure. Who knows what they found? We probably won't know for a while. This whole Tas Tepeler site, these 12 sites that they're turning into a tourist destination, just like Gobekli, it'll probably be years before it's fully opened. So you guys are getting some inside scoop. Not many people know that these sites exist. Most people think it's Gobekli and they think like, oh, Gobekli is this isolated case of this, you know, crazy structure. 40 of these structures, it's insane. 40. And they're only excavating 11 of them outside of Gobekli, 12 making the whole Tas Tepeler site. Tas Tepeler in Turkish means the stoned hills. So right here we get a good glimpse of the pillar with the vultures. Let me show you guys the coolest pillar here. Where's it at? The sun's a little too bright for me to see. Right here. Oh yeah, so the problem with the ancient architects video was one of the professors got mad that I was down in the enclosures. You know, I had permission to be in the enclosures. He didn't know that I'm working with the Ministry of Tourism here. And they asked Matt from Ancient Architects to put the video down until we can work it all out with this professor. Apparently this professor is kind of a dickhead. And I mean, to be fair, you know, they shouldn't let people down in the enclosures. I totally understand that, you know. But now the Ministry of Tourism is like working with the professor and telling him like, relax, we gave him permission to be there. The people at Karahan, know him and it's okay. So we will re-upload that video pretty soon. I gave Matt from Ancient Architects all the footage, just so because he makes incredible videos. So like I feel like he will deliver it and package it in a way that I probably wouldn't be able to. So I really appreciate him using the footage and helping get this knowledge out there. Yeah, maybe tomorrow it'll be re-uploaded or Wednesday. It's Monday here now. Yeah, this thing right here is really cool. This pillar, I believe it's called Pillar 48. I'm not totally sure. Maybe someone can correct me. But you see the vulture holding the little circle. Some people believe this is an asteroid impact. I'm a little hesitant to say what it means or what it doesn't mean, so I've not studied these ideas too much. But if you want to find out more, just Google that. And you'll find all kinds of people and their theories. Maybe it is, who knows for sure. But again, for those of you that are just joining, you can also look into the Hittites. I think that's how you say it, the Hittite people who were here in Turkey. They have the same kind of carvings with these bird men holding these circles, these like orbs. And I haven't done too much research into it yet, outside of just sort of looking. Before I was planning this trip, I was looking at some of the art history from this area, seeing if there was any connections, and there's, without a question, some kind of connection between these cultures. I mean, the symbolism is too similar. I don't know if the Hittites were maybe, I don't know, 3,000 years ago, and I could be wrong about that timeline, but they're about 3,000 years ago. This is 10, 11, 12,000 years ago. So it's, maybe the Hittites don't even know what what the original symbolism meant. But I think personally that it clearly shows some similarities. I personally don't think these are bags. This is my opinion. I don't think that they are the mysterious bags that some of these other cultures. Yeah, this area right here has lots of history with Egypt. Some people believe that, well, there is actually some evidence that says that the Hall of Records was moved from Egypt to this area, potentially Sagmatar. Who knows for sure? All this history has sort of dwindled down into myth and legend, but yeah, it's interesting nonetheless. So the Egyptians could have been like the heirs of this knowledge, or maybe not. Who knows? Here's some more excavations. You can see this whole hill right here has shit under it. Not shit, but beautiful shit. You know what I mean? It's just filled with amazing things. The earth is flat. It don't look flat from here. I'm on a hill. But you can see, if these people keep digging, some of these are about 10 meters deep before you really get to the good stuff, which shows that these people were building and building and building on top of each other. And that these are many generations here. That's an interesting rock right there with the hole in it. This would have been a pillar. It would have had a T-shaped head on it. That's now gone. But if these guys keep digging right here, they're gonna find a lot of interesting stuff. I believe that this was probably a temple. This is just like my own personal thoughts. This was probably a temple, and the people probably lived around here in the area. And the more they dig, they're gonna find tools. They're gonna find evidence of human activity. They're gonna find garbage, and they're gonna find homes, just like they did in Karahan. Karahan is now being considered the first human settlement on Earth, and that's not an idea I believe in. I I think humans are probably just smart, you know, we've probably been settled for a long time. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. This is Gobekli Tepe. Here's another interesting stone. Here's another interesting stone right there. That's got kind of a circle. That was probably one of those circle things we saw earlier that's now just kind of been broken. Just right of my shadow. And again, you go wandering in these hills and it's real easy to find stuff. I'll make a video of some of the stuff I found on the ground. There's a T. I don't believe any of this stuff was excavated last time I was here. I think this is all relatively new excavations. It's been about 2 years since I've been here. This is building F. The structure features an artificial terrace, 8 T-shaped pillars. But there's probably more than 8. They just have only found 8. This building, again, is arranged in circles. That's one of the themes that we find with these pillars, that they're usually arranged in circles. Some people believe that there's astronomical alignments. I'm not sure. I don't know much about astronomy. They actually found offering tables at Karahan recently. Here's another one of those circles, or like bowls. These are very easy to find if you're just wandering around. Oh, maybe we can walk over here. Oh no, they got it blocked off. Never mind. That's that site that we just looked at. That's all blocked off to the public behind the gate. But they just found some interesting, what I think and what they think is offering tables. And they found plates and bones. So it's super cool. This is at Karahan, not here. And these farmers that just own this land, they just they just own this, and they don't even, you know, imagine like my friend Ishmael. Imagine oh, look at this stone here. This one's got an interesting little carving in it. It's carved like a little seat. It's got like a, see, it's like an L. But the offerings are really cool. The offering table and the plates that they found, these stone plates. Here, Australian Aboriginal history goes back 70,000 years. Yeah, well, it'll be interesting if they find more connections outside of the symbology that's found here. I mean, human activities kind of, you know, we find humans for hundreds of thousands of years, but we don't find them building structures more than 11,000 years ago. So if we started finding T-shaped pillars in Australia, that would be real interesting. I'm pretty suspicious of any of these rocks. They all seem to have artificial carvings in them, or like artificially straightened. Jesus, man. Dude's just coughing. You know something funny I found? Something funny I found about like Turkish people that I just keep seeing over and over again is that people will pull their mask down to cough. Like instead of coughing in their mask, they pull their mask out of their face to cough into the air. I keep seeing it. Oh, also, I just want to give a quick thank you to everybody that donated money. I don't know if anyone in here donated money, but a couple days ago, we raised $1,400 to help the families of Sagmatar. You'll get to see them in a video as soon as I get back home and have time to edit. There's no service out there, or else I would do a live stream. But we raised $1,400. I bought the kids a bunch of toys for Christmas, even though they don't celebrate Christmas, but it's still nice. And for their school, for the elementary school, and a bunch of coats. It gets real cold here, and in like the next month, it's gonna be freezing here. So we bought a coat for each kid. We bought boots for each kid. We bought 3 pairs of socks for each kid, and so many toys. Like there's gonna have enough toys for them to play with at their homes, and they're gonna have enough toys to play with at school. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that donated. It's seriously, you've given these people such a blessing this December. And yeah, I would love to continue doing stuff like that. It's really made me really emotional to be able to help these people. And I haven't given it to them yet. I still have my hotel room is just like filled with like 50 bags of toys and clothes. But I'm gonna give an address as soon as I get there tomorrow morning. I'm gonna get an address and I'll post it publicly for anybody that wants to send the families clothes. You know, like the moms and dads also need stuff. I pretty much just only bought stuff for the kids. But yeah, if you want to send clothes, shoes, toys. I mean, so many of us Americans have so much just random clothes that we don't even wear. You know, our closets are filled with bullshit. So, you know, pack them up and spend $30 or whatever to ship it, and it'll, you know, it's a blessing. You're like genuinely helping. I mean, these people are living in mud and brick houses in like one bedroom. They're all just kind of sleeping in one room. So yeah, I just wanted to give my thanks to everyone that donated. It makes me tear up a little bit. It's really nice. But okay, let's check out some of these stones here. Some of these stones here clearly have some kind of work done on them. This right here, potentially T-shaped pillar, looks a little skinny, but maybe it's a floorboard. There's a cat. This one here has ridged, it's like ridged out. The archaeologists are numbering them. Pretty cool, right? Let's check out this little gift shop. There's a better gift shop in the start, but this one right here is pretty cool too. We'll check it out. Günaydın. Okay, let's see what they got. Don't look like they got too much in here, but they got these little T-shaped pillars. İngilizce biliyor musunuz?
Çok az biliyorum.
No? Okay.
Ne sorun siz?
Mm.
Ne lazım? Ne lazım?
Mm-mm.
Yani nasıl diyeyim?
It's
Sen
okay.
Türkçe
It's
biliyor
okay. It's
musun?
okay. Oh, look at these little guys. Their crazy little eyes. And these here are heads that are found about 3 hours away in a mountain called Nemrut or Nimrod in the Bible. And these heads and structures, they like bodies, are found in the mountain Nimrod. World's first temple. Okay, bye. Gule gule. Oh, you speak Turkish? Yeah, I should have just. I was just gonna ask him to give us some information. Okay, should we walk or should we take the bus back? We'll walk. Fuck it. I don't know if we're allowed on this side, but this is clearly something here. You can see a circular structure popping out of the ground there. And over there is those other circle structures that we've seen. Yeah, we'll check out some scenery. And then we'll get ready to end the chat once we get back down here. I'm not a historian or archaeologist or anything like that. But if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to try to answer them, or we can share ideas, whatever you want. Oh, here, check this out. There's some more of these little circle things. And this, I guess, could be natural from rainfall, but I'll say that they're probably not natural. And this is the sort of rock that they would make tools out of, like arrowheads or spearheads. Yeah, I guess rain could make these, but not fully sure. What are your thoughts on extraterrestrial lineage involvement in not only the creation of structures like this one? Well, it's a fun idea. I love the idea to think that like aliens came here to help move rocks around, but I think humans built these, and yeah, I mean, when I check in with my heart and my soul, I feel like, yeah, humans built these. I don't think aliens came here to help us move rocks. But there's some interesting things, you know, like how the hell did the Egyptians move 5,000? I mean, the smallest stones of Giza weigh about 5,000 pounds, more than 5,000 pounds. And some of those stones were cut from the Aswan quarry, which was dragged 500 miles to the Giza Plateau in Cairo. So it's like, how the fuck did they do that? And there's like, I don't know, thousands of those rocks. And then they're carving granite, which is one of the hardest stones to carve. Let's walk over here, see if there's anything interesting. No, you know, I think humans built them, but I love the idea of aliens coming here, and I do hope that there is some kind of evidence of aliens. And at Karahan Tepe, there's actually an unfinished T-shaped pillar, so we can see where they were carving it out. It's left there. It's still there. It's like halfway carved out of the rock. And this actually here could have been where they carved one of the T's out. You see this big chunk right here just carved directly out. And you could imagine that there would have been this type of thing up here. Get my shadow out of the way so you can check that out. And I find all kinds of Roman pottery every day that I'm out here walking around. I find Roman pottery. Well, I'm not sure if it's Roman. I'm just kind of assuming it's Roman. But I find stuff all the time. I mean, you just kick some stuff around and there it is. Has anybody done a 3D re-imaging of these sites? Yeah, I'm sure, maybe not of the other sites, but of Gobekli, I'm sure there is a 3D image. Oh, look at this. This is interesting right here. Here we got this line carved directly into this stone. Greek? Yeah, I guess it could be Greek also. Romans are just, I guess, the closest. or maybe the Byzantines. So I just kind of assume it's from them. But yeah, it's definitely could be Greek, could be some random civilization in between. It's hard to say. Here's another stone that's got a carving in it. Does it seem like this place could have been underwater at some point? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you were in here earlier, but I mentioned that around these sites you find coral and you find seashells. I'll look on the ground now. This is all kind of like new shit from when they built the road. But you can definitely find all kinds of seashells and coral here that's probably been just on the ground for thousands of years. I'll look right now and see if I can see anything. No writing. Yeah, there's no writing here. The most old writing you find, I believe, in this area is maybe Syriac. Is that how you pronounce it? Syriac from I don't know who those people would be. But in Sagmatar you find Syriac writing. Yeah, this is probably before written language, I'm sure. But they've also could have been speaking through symbols, leaving their language could have been through the carvings. Maybe not a letter system, but something different, a bit like the Egyptians, although the Egyptian symbols had sounds with them. Maybe these cultures also had something similar, but it doesn't look like there's too much evidence for that. No saw marks or drill holes. But we did see those holes back there that I zoomed in on. Once this is done, you can rewind a little bit and check those holes out. I'm not sure if they were made originally or if they were made from the archaeologists. I can't imagine the archaeologists are drilling big holes into the side of these pillars, but there are some perfect holes. They also found a 5,000-year-old chariot toy, a toy that's maybe, just a little bit bigger than my hand, at Sagmatar, which I keep talking about, the place, the families that live there now, we raised the money for them. I spent about 4 days there. I really love everyone there. I've fallen in love with all the kids and the families, and but they are just living in this like insane archaeological site that no one knows about, no one visits. I think it has a pyramid in the center of their village. Could be one of the oldest pyramids on Earth. There's hardly been, I don't even know if there has been any excavation there outside of like illegal looters looking for gold. I'll make a video about that. I'm going there tomorrow. But yeah, I think that there's a pyramid there, which might trace back to the like pre-dynastic times of Egypt, or it's hard to say for sure, but that's just what my gut tells me. The UFOs are everywhere nowadays. I've never seen one. I think it's an excuse for the US military to get military funding. I think space is the next military frontier, and America is just like trying to use the UFOs as a way to get a bigger military budget. I don't trust the US government for a second. And until I see a UFO for myself, I'm just going to assume it's, maybe an altered state, or this rock here looks a little smoothed. Yeah, I'd love to see him. I mean, I believe it. I'm not saying I don't believe that aliens could be potentially visiting us. Why not? But I think it's more likely that the US government is up to something. Although I did meet some indigenous people called the Suri who live in Punta Chueca in Sonora in Mexico, and they talk about seeing aliens all the time. So it's a possibility. They say they see UFOs in the water. fuck, man, it's been so cold. And I like wore extra clothes today just to make it like warm myself up, but it was a mistake. I've been making lots of mistakes today, taking this long ass 700-meter walk. No, I've never been to Greece. I try to stay to the cheap countries. Are you familiar with the theory that after the sinking of Atlantis, some survivors would have gone to the mainland at Gobekli Tepe, bringing agriculture and knowledge? Yeah. No, I'm not familiar with that theory, but I could see like the survivors of Atlantis spreading out to the world, trying to recolonize, find people that survived, and try to get civilization back and going. I could see that happening for sure. Why not? Greece is not cheap. I don't know. I don't think so. It seems like an expensive country. Santorini. It's like where all like the rich Instagram people hang out at. So I imagine it's an expensive place. I hang out in like the rural farm areas, away from the world. I took some people out to dinner last night. There were 6 of us. We all ate this big dinner and it only cost $20. So like this is the kind of places I like to hang out in. Because I know like a lot of you guys think I'm like rolling in cash, but I don't have a house. I don't have a car. So I don't pay for rent or car insurance. And yeah, it's really not that expensive to travel. Plane tickets are the most expensive. And then you hang out in a place like this, you spend $20 a day, which is a lot for some people, I guess, but with an American wage or with an internet wage, it's affordable more or less. Yeah, Atlantis is interesting. I think I believe that there was a civilization like Atlantis. What's a better experience, rural or populated? Well, it depends. Like I love Mexico City, and I love like Chiapas, for example. I love Istanbul, and I love Şanlıurfa, for example. They both have their beauty. Okay, we made it. We're back. And now I'm gonna actually go into the gift shop and buy some gifts from the good gift shop. It's a little bit bigger. And just before we get off this chat, we'll check that out. What do you think of the theory that Atlantis? Oh, the Eye of Africa. Nah, I would imagine Atlantis is probably underwater now. I mean, there's so many people claiming that different areas are Atlantis. It's hard to say. It's more likely that there was just a bunch of crazy civilizations existing and but I also haven't done like crazy research on Atlantis, so I don't have like an educated opinion on where it could be. But it seems like Graham Hancock knows a bit about that. He goes diving and looking for it. Yeah, Antarctica is my home. There's dripped water all over my face. But yeah, when you're in places like Egypt, people say, "Where are you from?" because they want to know how much money you have, more or less, So if you say, "Oh, I'm from America," they know they can charge you a little bit more. So you say, "You're from Antarctica." It's so funny. I told this guy I was from Antarctica, and he goes, "Oh, Antarctica, good people." Dude, I never met no one from Antarctica. But it's better not to be honest about that unless you know the person is not trying to get money from you. Because as soon as you're like, yeah, I'm American or I'm from England, then they say, my shop, come into my shop. And they try to charge you like $30 a t-shirt when they will charge a local like $4. Gaia is not the best source. Yeah, Gaia is a little bit for like the alternative alien crowd. If you're looking for like genuine archaeological history and evidence and like academic evidence, I wouldn't recommend Gaia. But Gaia's fun, you know. I don't think it's meant to necessarily be taken as gospel. Okay, so this is the other gift shop. Turkey. They got some cool stuff in here. And like I said, I was here a couple years ago, and they've gotten better gifts since then. Any tips on how to start being an explorer? Yeah, you just gotta do it, man. Yeah, I get scared sometimes, but it's about, you know, like the same way that we get lazy in life, you gotta like just do it, you know? It's like if you get lazy, nothing gets done. And if you get scared, it's the same. So it's just like about controlling your emotions. And I don't really, you know, I try to, oh, there's a flute. I try not to put myself in any situation that's actually scary. And there has been a couple moments, and I've always been prepared to like fight the person if I had to. I wonder if I can play this. Am I allowed to play it? You're not really allowed to test stuff out anymore with COVID, right? Maybe I'll buy it. What do you guys think? Yeah, I think I'll get it. Yeah, it's a cool flute. It's actually a recorder, so I could play like the My Heart Will Go On, like that bad the bad Titanic song. I love this thing here.
Hoş geldiniz.
Hello.
Sorry. No photo.
No photo? Okay, I'm just talking to my friend. It's a FaceTime.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Oh, what'd you say? Yeah. Oh, that's right. Ha ha ha. Sorry, I'm just pretending like I'm talking to someone. A musical phallus. A musical phalange. So what do you guys think? Which one should I buy? Do any stores sell genuine artifacts? No, not really. You can find some online, and you can find some of the locals that sort of treasure hunt, but as far as like, nah, you won't find any in the stores. Hey, can someone Google for me real quick how much 200 lira is to USD? 200 Turkish lira to USD. Because I kind of want to buy one of these things. Do I got my card on me? Let me see. Oh, no, I'm just looking.
Where from?
What's that?
Where from?
I'm from America.
America.
Yeah,
Oh, very nice.
yeah. Nice to meet you.
From Turkey.
You're from Turkey.
From
Nice.
Gobekli Tepe.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah. Can I try this?
Yes.
I can try it?
Not only from Şanlıurfa.
It's made here in Şanlıurfa?
Yes, made it for Şanlıurfa.
Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna set you guys down for a second and try to play this.
Good. Bunun kokusu nasıl acaba?
Merhaba, hoş geldiniz.
Kolonyanın kokusu nasıl acaba?
Hangisi benim?
Bunu merak ediyorum. Tamam, sıkıntı yok.
1452. Now this flute kind of sucks, but it is kind of cool. Should I buy it? Yeah, I'll buy it anyway, just because it's cool. Okay, and then I'm gonna buy one of these little guys too. Remember I was talking about in the beginning of this live stream that there's like a the Urfa man. This is a replica of the Urfa man. Oh, shit. I think they're saying it's 1452 for 200 Turkish lira. Cool.
Canlı yayın. Canlı yayın.
Is what?
Canlı yayın.
Canlı yayın?
Instagram.
Yeah, it's Instagram.
Oh.
Yeah, you want to say hello?
Hello.
There's 400 people watching.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
400.
Oh, normally is
Is
it
it
abone?
secret? Is what?
Normally abone.
Abole?
Yes.
What's that mean?
One.
In English?
Small English.
Huh?
Small English.
Small English. Small Turkish.
Sen normalde.
Dünya matematiği üstüne kurulmuştu.
You want to see my Instagram? Oh, Gobekli Tepe official.
Yes.
This is yours? Here, I'll show you.
Çalmam
Anyways, guys, yeah, basically this is it. Thank you so much for chilling with me during this chat. I'm happy to show you guys Gobekli Tepe and to share some of the history with you. And yeah, much love. Thanks a lot. Give this video a thumbs up and you know, subscribe to my channel if you're not, and turn on the notifications and all that YouTuber stuff I'm supposed to say that I always forget. Small English. I think he's trying to follow me on Instagram, so I'm gonna go make a friend here at Gobekli Tepe. Peace out, guys. Much love. Hope all your families are blessed and healthy. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hara Hara Mahadev.